a how-to video for SAP Business One on how to set up a project. Now, to start a project, we're going to go under our menu, under Project Management and Project, and we're going to open up our project. Now, to start out, we need to decide whether this is external or internal, and then the next step to enter in our business partner name. For this exercise, we'll use MaxiTech, and it's going to fill in some information for us here. Our contact person will automatically fill in here. Our territory will be blank, but we can choose the territory. Our sales employee will automatically populate. We can change that if we'd like. We can set an owner. This will be a list of our employees here. We can choose if this is a project with sub-projects. For this example, we will not do a sub-project. We'll cover that a little bit later. And then if your company is set up for branches, you have to choose a branch. If not, this will be blank here. Next, we're going to give our project a name. We'll call this test project number 1. This is the 21st project in here that will automatically fill in. The status, if it started, the start date, we can put in our due date here. Let's say that this is a little while down the line. We can give it a couple months. And a finish date whenever we're eventually finished. Now to fill in the stages, we'll be doing the bulk of our work here. We can define a stage. Now there are some that are out of the box, but if you'd like to add new or customize, we can go to our menu, we can type in stages, and here's our stages set up. We have the ability to add more if we'd like. For this example, we'll use conception and initiation. We have the ability to set up our task. We can give it an owner. We'll set our start dates, so we'll say that's today. And we can set a due date. We'll say that that's next week. If this is finished, we can click it and it'll automatically fill in our finish date, just to show you that. We can add a description if you'd like to get more granular of the description of this specific stage, and we can add in a percentage of the completion. So meaning if this is finished, if we said this was 25%, at the top here under percent complete, once we finish that task and update, it will say that it's 25%. So we can weight this accordingly, and this is customized to each project here. Now, there are more columns in here that we can add or move if we'd like. My setup might look a little bit different, but if you right-click in Form Settings here, this is the Stages table. In the Stages table, you can add, update, you can move around if you'd like. To move around, you can click and hold and drag, and you can move it, and it will move it left and right in the columns. So if you would like it closer to the left, you can move it up, and it'll prioritize it to the left here. Okay. Now, as we build our project here, you can add more stages as we go. We'll just add one more here for the sake of the example here. Now, some functionality that you can do here. All right. Once we have some stages filled out, if you'd like, you can highlight a stage, and down below, you can add open issues, attachments, documents, work orders, activities, and that's going to add it to our overall project here. So overall issues, let's say we have an issue with stage 1, and let's say it's payment. We can set a priority to it. Any remarks that we might have. Is it closed or open? Who's responsible for it here? If we had a solution. Who it was entered by, date entered, things of that sort, okay? We can add attachments. Now these are going to be attachments from your computer, so if you browse, it's going to open up your computer here, and you can attach things like Word documents, Excel documents, anything of that sort. Next, we can attach this to documents. So once we highlight our row, it's going to open up a series of documents here. So if this, an example, if this was linked to a sales order, you could open up a sales order and link it to the sales order here. Let's say we have one in the system here, and we'll use this one here. If there are any open work orders attached, this will bring up the list of production orders here that are in the system. And activities, if you'd like to set up any activities, we can do that as well. You can create new if you'd like. Then once complete, when we hit add, it's going to add this to the system. Now let's say we wanted to add sub-projects to this project. By clicking project with sub-projects, it's going to open up another tab that we can click on. And it's going to open up a sub-project number and description, so on and so forth. To add a new sub-project, we can go down below here, and we can either add a new sub-project, or if you happen to have a template, you can add from a template. For this exercise, we'll add a new sub-project here. We'll enter in our sub-project description. What type it is. Now there are some out-of-the-box descriptions in here, but we can also define new. And what's the parent sub-project? So that's 72. What's the due date of this sub-project? So let's say it's a little ways away here. And just like we can in the main project, we can define stages. So again, if we have descriptions here, we can add an owner, a start date, and we can add a due date. So this functions very much like the main project. And just like with the main project, we have the same options to add open issues, attachments, documents, work orders, and activities. And once we add our sub-project, and now we can see here that our sub-project has been added to our main project. Now from a general overview, we can pan back. If we have multiple sub-projects, we'll have the ability to drill down into each one and check in on each one. Thank you for watching this video. As always, please reach out to us here at Support One with any questions. Click on the link to subscribe for more content.